emergency, we can help you. We can fix it. We can make it like it was. Stay with me, please.
X-Men The Last Stand was released in 2006 and was not directed by Bryan Singer. He went off to do Superman Returns, and we all know how that turned out. Well, I mean, we all know how it turned out with Bryan Singer anyway in the future, but that's a completely other story. However, this film was directed by Brett Ratner and written by Simon Kinberg and Zach Penn, and of course, based on the X-Men by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and is the third entry in the X-Men film franchise, with returning actors Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, Ian McKellen, Famke Janssen, Anna Paquin, and also introducing Kelsey Grammer into the mix as Beast, which is pretty cool. James Marsden returns as Cyclops, but once again, just like in the other two films, gets shafted, and I'd like to point out the only time in this trilogy where Cyclops' eye beams look awesome is when, basically when he goes and eye-beams Alkali Lake. That scene is my favourite Cyclops scene in this original trilogy because it looks so damn cool. But he gets shafted, and of course Patrick Stewart is Professor Xavier. And interestingly enough, we get Vinnie Jones portraying the Juggernaut, which I didn't hate. I thought it was pretty funny, but you know, it's not as good as the Deadpool 2 variation of the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut should be absolutely huge. Now, this film follows a mutant who has his mutant ability is curing other mutants within his immediate vicinity, and the humans, being humans, make a cure from that and weaponize it because that's what people do. And there's obviously the big dilemma that the humans are saying, oh no, it's completely voluntary, but Magneto is obviously waging his little war. Now, Magneto is not wholly wrong because humans weaponize anything they can find. They'd weaponize a volcano if they could. So he has a point in that way, and I do like the fact that Ian McKellen, especially, you do feel he's not wrong, really, in what he's trying to do. He's trying to protect mutants. That's the good thing about Magneto. He's not truly a villain. Even in the comic books and whatnot, he's not really a villain. He's just someone that wants mutants to be safe. Obviously, goes back to him being persecuted for being Jewish to start with during World War II, but, you know, there's nothing wrong there. And of course, this is an adaptation of the Dark Phoenix saga, the first of two attempts, which are both done wrong. But in this one, they have the Phoenix as an alternate personality within Jean Grey's head, which is really wank. But there you go. Everybody does do a good job. This film is not terrible. It's once again like the second film. It's not as well paced as the first film, but it doesn't drag either. It's not too long, and it did make some money, and it has some pretty cool moments in it. There are some moments with Wolverine where he's running and hiding from mutants when I don't know why he's running and hiding, because Wolverine is indestructible and can heal really fast, so I don't know why he would be hiding from anything. And there is a pretty cool battle towards the end, and Kelsey Grammer does do a good job as Beast. But there's just some really silly ideas floating around in this film. Of course, we do not get Nightcrawler returning in this film, which is a crying shame because he was one of the highlights of X-Men 2. You do get Warren Worthington III, who is Angel, in case people didn't know, and he's in like 3-4 scenes and is just relegated to the background. Now, I think he should have been brought more towards the beginning, because in the first film it was more focused on Rogue and Wolverine, and then Rogue just got sidelined in the second film and in this film again, and because of course her mutant ability where she can't touch anybody because she drains the life force and power out of them, you can understand why she would be thinking about having the cure, especially as she's jealous of the relationship between Bobby, Iceman, and Kitty Pryde, who has no alias as far as I'm aware. I think it's just Kitty, I think. I mean, I haven't read the comics in a long time, but I do want to start reading them again. But it's not a bad film. It's not a terrible film. It's not a great film and not a good film, but it's part of the X-Men film mythos, so it's there to be watched. You can't really skip it. But also what you do want to do is not skip the post-credits, because it explains why then Professor Xavier is in Days of Future Past, and then going on Logan. So yeah, it's worth a watch. It's not terrible, but Yeah, it could have been much better. But please let me know in the comments down below what you think of X-Men The Last Stand. And as always, thank you very much for watching.
If you're with us, then be with us.
They wish to cure us. But I say we are the cure.
Look at me, G. We can help you. We can fix it. We can make it like it was. Stay with me, please.